DM is merciful and halves the cleric's fall damage twice, once because he's holding the griffin below him, and once because he's desperately flapping its wings enough to slow the fall. They crash into the ground and the griffin is turned into paste. Cleric uses Stone's Endurance. My face when he takes 1 point of damage. Hey, what's up everyone, it's SkyDieRay and welcome to another DnDGreentext video. How are you guys doing? Having a wonderful day today. Before jumping into the video, I want to quickly kindly ask if you want to take a moment to smash the like button. It takes a second and helps out a lot, so thanks so much for that. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoy. 2 deaths on session 1. How to learn a lesson. Be me, half-Oni outcast and demonic key monk. Not me, shinobi traveler, tea shop owner, demonic key weaver, and samurai on a mission, as well as my brutal DM. Welcome to session 1. The town is having a food shortage because of a drought. Our samurai does some investigation and meets most of the party. The samurai, seeking some knowledge of the recent drought, looks for the outcast. I'm unable to figure out the source of the drought, but demons lurk in the nearby forest. Our shinobi heads to the forest alone. DM facepalms. Finds a massive spider nest and a whole canopy of webs in the trees. Giant spider descends and fight ensues. Spider jumps on the shinobi with a back and forth of attacks, and eventually he's low and he falls unconscious. The spider goes back to its nest. The shinobi's absence worries our weaver. After they track them down and bring him back, he'll need a while to recover. The town gets a little more worried of the forest, and my character stands guard. Our weaver goes to investigate the forest more. Everyone denies the need or won't risk their lives. Another character alone, but she said she'd be quick, ends up fighting 2 medium-sized spiders that use poison, and they die. Too much time passes and I investigate myself. I grab her body and bring it back. Luckily, no spiders. A small funeral is held and a few days to recover, with our shinobi being almost ready to fight again. Before we get time to group up, the samurai runs off into the forest, burns the nests and summons the spider demon boss. Ends up spending like half the fight running away, takes heavy poison damage, and the lucky samurai survives on 1 hit point. My character, once again, carries them to the medical house. DM rolls the die to see what the lasting poison effects are from the demon boss. Samurai is told he dies on the medical table. DM narrates that the samurai grabs the herbalist by the neck. End of session. The DM is not actually an unfair guy, we were just stupid for splitting the party, and we paid for it. Also, everyone at the table is having fun. We play old school D&D where there's a lot more death. That being said, this isn't 5th edition. Alright, I was gonna say something about the fact that they split the party so much, but they are self-aware about it, I suppose. But it doesn't make sense still why basically everyone that went into the forest did it alone, 1 by 1. Goliath Space Program. Be me, half-elf blade singer wizard. Be not me, Goliath grave cleric, human fathomless warlock, and Owlin swashbuckler rogue. Party is level 3, traveling with a small company of guards from my character's hometown, tasked with helping a local merchant company get their cart back into town. They had found a powerful weapon of some kind and were trying to transport it back. Got stuck trying to push the cart up a steep hill. We arrive and help them get it most of the way up. Suddenly, 3 griffins attack our party. Immediately kill one of the 3 guards accompanying us. A few turns later, the fight isn't going great. Only one of the griffins has taken substantial damage, and another one isn't even damaged at all. Meanwhile, the warlock and I are below half health. I cast Tasha's hideous laughter on the undamaged one. The griffin fails its save and is now on the ground laughing its ass off. Directly in front of the cart. The damaged one also happens to be below the cart. Warlock casts Cause Fear on the druid, and it fails the save and starts flying away from him. It's the cleric's turn. Notices that 2 of the griffins are in the cart's path. He runs to it and climbs on. Tells the remaining guards to let go of it. Succeeds the persuasion check, and the guards do as he says. The cart quickly starts to pick up speed as it goes down the hill. Rolls over the laughing griffin and immediately turns it into roadkill. Rams into the second one and finishes it off. Last griffin's turn. It succeeds its save to stop being frightened. It starts to approach the warlock again. Suddenly, the weapon being transported gets triggered. Huge f***ing laser fires out the back of the cart, propelling it even faster down the hill. The cleric is still riding it. Bad Piggy's team.mp3. Cart plows into the Griffin, somehow doesn't kill it, but it's going for a ride. Reaches the bottom of the hill and hits something. The laser launches the cart into the sky, sending it flying back up the hill above us with the cleric and Griffin still on board. The laser is still firing as it tumbles through the air. Just barely misses the party. Cuts a giant chasm through the hillside before it stops firing. Cart crashes somewhere in town. Cleric and Griffin are flung off the cart and are now plummeting from over 100 feet up. Cleric attempts to take control of the Griffin and get it to fly him safely down to the ground. Rolls a 1 on animal handling. Starts strangling it instead. Spends the remaining falling turns casting False Life, healing himself to full, and doing anything else he can to survive the fall. DM is merciful and halves the cleric's fall damage twice, once because he's holding the Griffin below him, and once because he's desperately flapping its wings enough to slow the fall. They crash into the ground and the Griffin is turned into paste. Cleric uses Stone's Endurance. My face when he takes 1 point of damage. That seems a bit extreme, to be honest, but I mean, if the DM chose to do it like that, it is what it is, I suppose. Bit unfortunate for the Griffin that got turned into paste, but I guess that's what happens when you're not a PC. I can't wait to see their reactions. Bimmy, DM that loves running roughshod with players' expectations. Be Not Me, Black Dragonborn Wizard, Blue Dragonborn Fighter, and other PCs whose relevance to the story is limited. Party meets the fighter's parents, who are still alive and actually really wholesome. Both are Green Dragonborn, and the relevance of this is obvious. Later, the party rescues the wizard's dad, a Bronze Dragonborn, another wholesome character. I determined that when a chromatic and metallic spawn, the result is totally random as mixing magic always causes chaos. Relevance clear later. Fighter's backstory describes seeing a tabaxi fleeing her burning village and find out during the campaign that she was forced into a draconic rage and destroyed it herself. Much later, the fighter slays the tabaxi. His last words are, "Your traitor's blood runs in your veins." Fighter talks to her dad and he reveals he knows not who her real father is and ends the exchange with an embrace. Fighter speaks with mom, who says that her real dad is a Bronze Dragonborn with different name to Wizard's dad. Wizard's player puts head in hands saying, "You did not just Princess Leia me," several times. That face when you know the players fell for it and the mom is just a liar who actually caused the rage. The first real betrayal of the whole campaign. I love players sometimes. Bimmy, Be My Player, a newbie. Newbie was presented with a bunch of different options for characters. He created a human character. Despite the fact that all of the other players at the creation night were yelling at him to choose the variant because of how much more powerful it is than human, he chose non-variant. The campaign is taking place in a high human populace area, making his extreme normality a good trait because he's a rogue. He winds up not being a kleptomaniac, but instead winds up toppling a conspiracy to resurrect a dead dragon god while spying on the mayor simply by dropping alchemist fire on the crowd and it getting out of hand through bad rolls. The rest of the party had no knowledge of the situation and I was completely caught off guard. Now, whenever the player is absent, I just have him say, "I'll be right back," and the players joke about him going off to dismantle another government. My party gave a guard brain damage and then proceeded to make him a follower. Bimmy, DM. New campaign centered around religion. Jesus.jpg. Campaign starts in a religious re-education prison. Players break out of their cells. Find room with their gear guarded by sleeping guard. Sneaks past him. Two players find wooden plates and proceed to hit the guard over the head. Roll a natural 20. Tangled frying pan scene.image. Guard knocked out. Party gets gear and discusses the plan. Waits too long and the guard starts waking up. Hit the guard repeatedly with the plate. Fast forward. The party finds the guard quarters. Reads a letter from unconscious guard to his beloved wife. Crying laughing.jpg. Continues through prison. Starts a boss fight. During the boss fight, one player dashes through the entire prison to the guard. Persuades him to become his follower with advantage due to the brain damage received a bit ago. Kills him just enough to walk. Party defeats the boss and then tells the now devout guard that he is the new warden of the prison. Feels good, that image. Once an insignificant character, he's now going to be part of the story. I plan in future sessions for them to get letters from him with slurred speech. Why? Why did they have to give him brain damage? I don't know. When you don't know how to balance combat. Bimi, usually DM, currently a player. 2nd level Tempest Cleric and 5th level Storm Cleric. Others, the current DM who's inexperienced, and the 7th level Blade Singer. Some scheduling issues and the rest of the group can't make it. DM says it's fine due to some quirk of the campaign. First session starts with 2 players. Fast forward to some mini boss fight. 4 enemies. Each of them have 200 health as we later found out, and they can also combine into one dude with insane stats and some other things that the DM didn't reveal. Fight starts. I cast 4th level Fireball, transmute it into lightning damage, and then use my channel divinity to maximize damage, dealing 66 to each guy. Got some magical that gives extra damage. The Blade Singer uses Fireball and does 33 damage to each one. DM says they are still running towards us. I use Fireball again and around 30 damage again. Blade Singer uses another Fireball. They finally reach us and they attack me twice. I use my shield and they can't hit because I have 27 AC. The party keeps doing AoE spells. About 110 damage on each guy so far. Yuriam, can I check how are they doing health-wise? They're still fine. What? The JPEG? Continue slapping them around for a bit, and they still can't do it. Couple rounds later, it finally happens. They do some Power Ranger and transform into some big dude. 40 in every attribute, 800 hit points, plus 25 to hit, 4 attacks, insane damage, and abilities like different parts counting as different creatures, etc. Me and the Blade Singer stare at each other for a solid second. I kinda wanna try to kill it. Same. Fast forward a bit. The Blade Singer is rolling death saves, and I'm almost out of spell slots. Finally managed to kill it with the help of an overpowered DMPC who crit and dealt 250 damage. Do some math. Tell the DM that that was at least a CR29 encounter. DM looks up the XP table, sees I'm right, and gives us a ton of experience. 13th level speedrun any %. TLDR, CR29 encounter for a 2-man 7th level party, and we still win. And got... Jesus Christ, got 6 levels out of that, god damn. That's honestly impressive. I mean, that's still really impressive, you know? Alright, on that note, that's been it for today's video, so thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did and subscribe if you haven't already. Also thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon, as well as on YouTube by thank you for those. Links below if you check those out, as well as in social media, Reddit, and yeah, that's it, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye.